Is today your due date? Are you a first-time mom and you are just super anxious and you are just miserable and you literally want to evict your baby like yesterday? I totally feel your pain, and I have 8 tips for you to help your body naturally go into labor on its own. If you're interested in seeing these tips, please keep on watching. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's video is all about my top 8 tips to encourage your body to go into labor on its own. These tips are tried and true. People have used them, there have been studies, and there have been some really good positive results using some of these tips. So just a disclaimer, if you try these tips, this is no guarantee that all of them or even one of them will work for you, but these tips definitely will push you in the right direction. So let's just get right into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is remove all negative thoughts from your brain. Release all thoughts of fear, all thoughts of anxiety. And I know it's easier said than done, but I know we've all heard the term, your thoughts become reality. It's as simple as that. If you think something negative, you're literally putting it out into the universe and you're literally attracting it to you. Something simple that you can do right here, right now with me is say, I'm going to have a great labor. My baby is going to be healthy, delivered naturally. I was made to do this. I'm a woman. God, or whoever you believe you are. I don't even want to put titles on anyone. You're free to be whoever you are, but just say, I'm a person and I was made to do this and I will do it. So that's tip number 1. So if you're not really good at, saying positive affirmations and really, believing certain things, I would say do some research, get some support from whether it's a doula, your mom, somebody who had a baby before who had a positive outcome, and really ask them, what are some things that they did to, put their mind at ease when it comes to the labor process. And when you start thinking positive thoughts and removing anxiety, you're telling your body that you're ready to go into labor. Being fearful causes your body to tense up and you're really not aligning with the labor process. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is exercise. So easy, so simple. We all should be doing it, right? I know during pregnancy, it can be the last thing you want to do on your list, but especially when you're full term and your due date happened, you want to do things that will encourage your body mechanics to get moving. So I don't mean, deadlifting 500 pounds. You definitely don't want to do that in pregnancy, regardless. But you want to do things that just get your body moving. Walking, sitting upright, standing upright, walking is a great way to kickstart labor because you're aligning with gravity, so the baby's in an optimal position to push on that cervix. You're opening up your pelvis by moving, and you're just literally stretching those muscles. As I said the word stretching, you want to do stretches that open up the pelvis as well. If you're moving, then your baby is moving. If you sit still all day long or you just want to lay in bed and be lazy, your baby's going to be lazy. And we don't want no lazy babies. So let's get up and let's get moving. Tip number 3, this goes right into continuing with the exercise. Get yourself a birthing ball. And in layman terms, a birthing ball is really just a workout ball. It's one of those round, big balls. I'll insert a picture right here. And I'll also leave a link to an affordable one that you can get off of Amazon. You can even go to Target, Walmart, they have them. The great thing about a birthing ball is that it literally puts you in an optimal position when you sit on it, and it literally takes some of the pressure off of your pelvis. Because I know once you're literally ready to pop, you have a lot of pressure down there and it's super sore. So, moving your hips on the birthing ball will help to massage that area and also put pressure on the cervix as well to encourage it to soften up. So if you guys are interested in seeing a video on different exercises you can do on a birthing ball, let me know in the comments below, and I definitely could do one for you. But something as simple as literally sitting on it and moving your hips in a circle, or kind of do like a figure 8 and do that, and that will help to open up everything down there and help to encourage softening and all that good stuff. So tip number 4 is hypnobirthing. I know a lot of people get scared when you hear the word hypnobirthing. I don't want to be hypnotized. Like, isn't that some like weird voodoo type of stuff? No. Hypnobirthing is basically like you visualizing something and meditating on it and literally having it come to pass. So it's basically like putting your body in a really deep state of relaxation. And I know it may sound weird, and a lot of people is just like, I've tried to be hypnotized before and it never works. Honestly, a lot of us are daily hypnotized, if that makes any sense. You ever, what is something that we all do that we really don't have to think about? It just like happens naturally. So let's say we're dancing, we're doing we're a really good dancer and we're doing an 8 count. After a while, you don't even have to think about something. Your body just naturally does it. Same thing with driving. If you're driving and you go into your mom's house, you don't really have to think about, turning left on 3rd Street or whatnot. Your body just naturally does it. So hypnobirthing is kind of like that, where you put your body into a relaxed state where it naturally thinks about the birthing process in a positive light, and literally you're just going with the flow. So tip number 5 is acupressure. So for those of you that don't know, acupressure is the less popular sibling to acupuncture, but instead of using needles, acupressure requires physical pressure to be applied to different energy fields or different energy points throughout the body. So I'll give you 2 different pressure points that you can try. So the first one is Li4, and this is the large intestine pressure point. And basically it's this little webbed area between your thumb and index finger. So right in between here is where you want to apply the pressure, right there where all that flesh is and muscle right there. So you don't want this to be painful. You'll know that you're doing it right when it's uncomfortable, but it's not painful. So you apply the pressure with your thumb and your pointer finger and you massage. You want to do this for like 1 minute, and then you can take a break and then you can start again. And you have to do this consistently throughout the day. You don't want to just try it one time and think it's gonna work. You got to be consistent about it. And if you have a partner, they can do it for you. So another pressure point is called the pericardium 8 point, which is also known as like the labor palace. And basically what you want to do is make a fist. And where your middle finger presses, where it lays, that's the point right there in the middle of your palm. And you want to do the same thing. You can use your index and your thumb, or you can use your middle and your thumb and massage that area right there. Do this for a few seconds, give yourself a break while you're watching a television show, and just do that. So there are about, I think, like 4 other really popular pressure points that you can do to kickstart labor, and I can do that in a whole nother video if you're interested, so let me know. So tip number 6 is castor oil. So this isn't the most popular of all the tips, and it's actually kind of controversial, but I actually am a fan of this tip. I'm not going to lie, and I will let you know why. But first, I just want to let you know that there isn't a ton of studies done or research out there to support the use of castor oil, but the research that I found and read upon shows that if a woman does use this tip, the likelihood of them going into labor within 24 hours is like 60%. It's like more than 50% compared to women that didn't use this tip. So you want to use castor oil if you are literally desperate. I like to say, if you're desperate, you're down to the wire, and your provider has an induction scheduled for you in 2-3 days and you don't want to be induced. This is when I would say you may want to think about this, but definitely talk to your healthcare provider first before you even try it, because based on who you're being seen for your care, some people are against it and some people are for it. Castor oil basically works as like a uterine and intestinal wall stimulant, It causes contractions to start, and it can even cause you to poop yourself, like a lot, like diarrhea type poop yourself. That's why I know some of you might have heard castor oil being used if people are constipated. It really is thick and it helps to push things along. If you are going to use castor oil, more than likely you would be recommended to use 1 tablespoon, and you just want to drink 1 tablespoon within 24 hours. Don't drink more than that. And then you want to drink a lot of fluids, because you will more than likely be nauseous. You might even vomit, and you might have diarrhea. Those are the 3 things. Being a novice midwife and being early in the game, one of my really good friends, and I hope she's okay with me telling this story, Kiki, you had a great outcome, girlfriend. So I know you will not mind me sharing this. But let's call her real quick and see if she doesn't mind. She don't ever be picking up when I need her to pick up. As I said, I think she'll be okay with me telling this story. So simply put, her OBGYN wanted to induce her because, and I won't share why they wanted to induce her, that's her personal business, but just know that she was gonna get an induction in like 3 days. And she hit me up and was like, Mel, I don't want to be induced. You know, I want to do everything as natural as possible. Like, I've heard a bunch of things about different things you could do to help yourself go into labor. Can you give me any tips? So we started talking about castor oil, and I was like, yo, to be honest, I think you should try it. And I told her, just take a tablespoon and that's it. And I kid you not, she literally started having contractions like 3-4 hours later. No lie. And she literally went into labor that night and had her baby. She pushed like 4 times and her baby came out. Clearly that won't be the result for everyone, but that's just me showing you that you have to literally use your judgment, and whoever you're getting your pregnancy advice from, you know, this should be somebody that you really trust, someone that's knowledgeable. And yeah, and I'm just super happy that it worked for her. So that's that about castor oil. So the next tip is nipple stimulation, and I love this tip because I've actually witnessed this work for women, not so much to kickstart labor, but during labor when the contractions have kind of been not as strong. Nipple stimulation helps to increase the intensity of the contractions. So basically what it does is it helps to release that good old love hormone oxytocin from your pituitary gland, which then results in strong uterine contractions, and that helps the baby's head push against the cervix and then helps to ripen it up and soften it up and help it dilate. So the way you want to stimulate your nipples, you can do it manually. Just take them in between your fingers, and I would say do one at a time and do this for like 30 minutes, and then you can go to the next one. And you're literally just like rubbing the nipples in, you know, in between your fingers. And to be honest, guys, the more you're into it, the more you're into this, the more it'll work. So if you have a partner with you, you know, feel free to ask them to do it. You know, look into their eyes. If if you're in labor right now and you want a little privacy, you know, everyone can step out for a little bit and, you know, allow you guys to have that little private time to do it. Or if you're, you know, just at home and you're waiting to go into labor, you know, do that, get aroused, you know, get it popping. So which brings me to my last tip number 10, which is sex. Sex is great during the last, you know, days of pregnancy, as long as you don't have any risk factors for like bleeding, or you don't have any restrictions from your provider. They will encourage you to have sex all the way up until your baby is born. Sex is really good because it helps to stimulate the lower uterine segment, specifically the cervix, because just the act of the penetration and pushing up against the cervix helps to soften it. Also, what happens when you orgasm, you basically help to release that oxytocin hormone again, which also, as I said, helps to, you know, help your uterus contract and ultimately soften the cervix. Also, when your partner, if you're having penetrative sex with someone and they release their semen, the semen also has prostaglandins in it, which also helps soften the cervix. So yeah guys, those are my top 8 tips for helping to encourage your body to go into labor on its own. Please leave me comments down below if you've tried any of these tips, or if you're literally at your due date and you're trying these tips as you listen to me speak. Let's talk in the comments about some of these. And yeah, if you have any other tips that you've heard, leave them in the comments below and I'll definitely interact with you guys and let you know if I think it's safe or if I've, had an experience with people trying them before. So guys, I hope you found this video informative. Until my next one, peace and love. See you later.